deal with you?
What's the deal with me?
Yeah, you're still hurting?
Well, yeah. Did you see how far up my seat was?
Okay. It's not my fault your legs are longer than mine. I thought we had plenty of room in there. All right. You thought you had it tight on your side. This is my side. I didn't have a whole lot of room in here, and you were belly aching on the other side.
Whatever. Let's go look at my side.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? You moved,
No.
You moved it back.
You sure?
You moved
I don't
it
know.
Back. You should have measured twice.
I measured plenty. But I didn't have my real one. I had the little toy you gave me. It's not my fault the thing was 6 inches off. I measured we had plenty of room in there. I keep telling you that.
Well, clearly there wasn't because my knees were sideways against the dash. And
I think you're exaggerating a little bit.
I don't know about that.
I just think you are.
All right, anyway, let's
Okay, we gotta drill a hole here because I want to get this board up so that I can use it. You know?
Well, do you think we should measure twice?
I'm pretty sure it's all right. You can't.
You sure you don't want to?
Here. Do you remember the scripture we got for Sunday? Do you remember? It says something like this.
Apparently I don't.
Do not speak harshly to a man older than yourself. Remember? I'm 35 years your senior, Timothy. Yeah, you remember that, right?
I do remember.
All right. Okay. All right.
I do remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Now
Anyway.
I'm gonna drill this hole here. So I'm getting the pilot thing going. Okay. Good deal.
Looks a little crooked.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly where we need to go. I'm thinking.
Yeah, suit yourself.
I'm thinking. Let's not be harsh.
Okay.
Not be critical or anything.
That's true.
All right. Okay, so have you thought about? We've got a sermon preview to do.
We do have a sermon preview.
We need to.
Yeah.
We have to come up with something on this passage, right?
Well, and maybe we can just kind of chat about it while we get this board up here.
Okay, we could probably do that. So, look at that. That was a dream.
Clean fit right there.
Yeah, okay.
Kidding. Yeah.
Okay, so the passage is talking about widows
Yeah.
and elders.
Yeah. So we're in 1 Timothy 5. We're just
5.
looking at the whole chapter.
The whole chapter.
Yeah.
So widows and elders, which one are you?
I don't know if I'm either of them.
Okay then, all right. We already know I'm the elder, right? So,
That's true.
So I'll talk about the elders, you talk about the widows.
Okay,
Well,
we could
okay.
do that. We could do that.
Or we could discuss, so what is he talking about with the widows?
Yeah. I mean, it seems a little bit random almost that he's bringing up the widows because the church knows they're supposed to take care of the widows, and it's interesting, he's not talking about, church, you're supposed to take care of the widows. What he's talking about is you're supposed to take care of he says true widows, but really I think what he's doing is he's kind of allocating the resources and making sure, resources might be limited. He's making sure the resources are going to the people that really need it, the widows that really need it.
I think you're right. So you've got evidently some widows, and he kind of, they're young, they need to just go remarry, or they may even have children that could take care of them, but somehow they're on the widow list. Mm-hmm. And there's that whole other piece. You've got Jewish Christians who are going to be coming in. If they're bringing widows with them, they're like refugees. They're going to need all kinds of help if they're bringing widows, because if they don't have any family with them, they're going to need help. Right. So it makes sense.
And I think that's a good point. I think Paul is preparing Timothy again here for, you're going to have these Jewish Christians flooding your area. Make sure your church is ready for it. And one of the ways to be ready is make sure you have resources available to help them. Okay, ready to give it a try?
Yep. I hope we don't drop it this time.
Yeah, we shattered the first one. Okay.
You're left-handed.
Anyway, back to the
sermon preview. Elders.
Yeah, elders.
So I guess I didn't really think about this earlier, and I've had to have known this sometime, but at the same time, he's not like his duties of the elders, but then he's talking about some elders who are continually sinning and what to do with a spiritual leader who is not really being the spiritual leader that they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
He ends up saying in that passage, you don't allow any accusations against a spiritual leader unless there's 2 or 3 people, that are agreeing.
And then it doesn't say something about not being prejudiced or acting with being totally partial. So it's this idea of likely the elder of the church is well liked, well known, has respect, but so it's going to be easy to say, oh, I can't believe they would do something like that, or but no, it's saying you have to be just and fair, and if look at the situation with clear eyes for that spiritual leader of the church.
And it's if they are continually sinning or persistent sinning.
Yeah.
And so like there's already been the confrontation and they're denying it or whatever, or they're refusing to change.
Yeah.
And so if that all happens, then you're basically not supposed to let that continue on.
Right.
Sometimes the sins are real obvious. And sometimes they're not, but they're going to come out eventually. And
that always comes out at some point.
Yeah, it cannot be hidden forever, and just some wording like that. So it seems like Paul's very concerned about if you have a spiritual leader who is continually sinning, you can't leave them in that position of influence.
Right, yeah. Because if you've got one spiritual leader who's living in sin, they're likely going to be pulling astray other people because of the influence that they have. Other people see, it's okay to do this or that or live in sin.
And it's interesting, it reminds me of chapter 1 when we had Hymenaeus and Alexander, was it?
Yeah, Alexander.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how Paul's language there was hand them over to Satan. He doesn't use that language here, but it does remind me of that because he's saying, okay, they can't be allowed to stay within the church and influence other people negatively on what it means to follow.
Right. Yeah, so what does this mean for us here today?
If the Church of Jesus Christ is supposed to grow, and number-wise, sure, but grow spiritually and all that, well, shoot, you can't have people in positions of leadership who aren't going to grow because they've got something holding them back, sin in their life or whatever.
Right, yeah. And so just being aware that spiritual leaders are human. There may be persistence in sin in their lives, and just being aware of that and knowing how to act as a church if that comes up.
Makes good sense to me.
Yeah, awesome.
So if we're still speaking to each other by the time Sunday comes along, I mean, if you can forgive me the fact that the measuring seemed to be a little bit off, or somehow whatever happened in that car that we're not talking about.
We're not talking about it. It just.
But if we're still talking on Sunday, we're both preaching on Sunday, and so you're going to see both of us up front talking about this passage, and I think we'll have some questions for all of us to work through.
Yeah, so we'd love for you to join us on Sunday morning. If you're not able to make it, we'll have the sermon posted on YouTube a day or two afterwards. What are we doing, Carl?
Well, we're picking up the whiteboard that the USPS did not deliver. And I measured, and I was just pretty sure we'd be able to fit it in here. And we did.
Yeah, we did, but we're a little cramped here.
It's a little tight.
Just a little bit. Not a great situation.